And we are back on the grid. Mike Blewitt hosting Newswire here. Welcoming in sporting news is Vinnie Iyer. He's an NFL and fantasy football writer for the Sporting News and host of Locked On Network Fantasy Football. Vinnie, good to see you. Focusing on the AFC South today, an interesting division coming off a 2023 season, which was, I guess, safe to say, was characterized by two major events. The emergence of J.Stroud and making the Texans a legitimate contender for playoff spots and playoff victories, and the collapse of the Jaguars, who were an 8-3 football team, ended up 9-8, and you're left scratching your head as to what happened to this Trevor Lawrence-led team. So, as we go into 2024, what are your expectations right at the top with the Houston Texans?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of hype around them, not just division-winning repeat hype, but Super Bowl hype, right? I mean, they're kind of profiling a lot like the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Have that young quarterback, have an up-and-coming defense with DeMeco Ryans, added Stephon Diggs in the mix. So it's very hard, though, when you're now the hunted and not the hunter. And some things they did, I think they obviously went a little bit all in with Mixon and Diggs in the backfield, adding Joe Mixon, and maybe saying, okay, we have the team now with J.Stroud on the rookie contract. Let's go after it. They also splurged to get Danielle Hunter on defense. So they're going after it for sure, trying to become a heavyweight in the AFC at large, maybe see a crack in the Bills and the Bengals and trying to walk into that. So they should win the division. I mean, I think all the momentum and the talent right now, you would feel the most comfortable with them. I think the interesting part is I think there could be a wild card team from this division with a lot of changes going on behind, and it'll be interesting, but I actually think there's a little bit of momentum more with the Colts and the Titans than the Jaguars at this point.
Interesting. So the Texans win total, Texans to win the South plus 105. So in a division where we often see the favorite and the also Rams or the other contenders a little tighter, there is some distance between the Texans and the Jaguars this year. We'll get into the other teams as well. But to your point about maybe the Colts coming on, it's sort of surprising when you look back at the history of this division, which was called the AFC Soft for years, and nobody thought anybody can contend. But the Titans came on pretty strong. They were a 1 seed a few years ago, famously lost in their first playoff game there. But the Colts have not won this division since all the way back in 2014, the Andrew Luck days. And you think that there's a possibility that they could come on a little bit stronger in Anthony Richardson's hopefully first full season under center.
Yeah, we did see a lot of great flashes from him last year. I know he had the injury that sidelined him pretty quickly. He also missed another game with a concussion before he had to go down with a shoulder surgery. So I look at a lot of profile with the Colts. You also don't have any Jonathan Taylor drama this year. Like, he's locked and loaded. I think they're going to have a better receiving core overall with A.D. Mitchell joining Michael Pittman Jr. They took care of him, Pittman, with a big contract extension, have a very good left tackle in Bernard Raymond. So they've got an offense that can make a lot of noise here. And defensively, they've got some pieces still. I know that it's been reshuffled, but DeForest Buckner is still on the front of that defensive line. So I think the Colts maybe don't sleep on them too much. We haven't seen enough of Richardson to say that we feel as good about him in year 2 as Stroud, but that also says he has a lot of upside, that he can push the ball downfield and run and have a lot of effect. And keep in mind, Shane Steichen, Jalen Hurts year 2, that worked out to be a very nice surprise there with the Eagles and what he was able to do there. And we saw them first become a wild card team before breaking through and getting all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Steichen and Richardson's relationship is something that we are probably going to be talking about almost every week throughout this season and in future seasons. If they become a real contender, it'll be as a result of Steichen and Richardson being home run hires and draft picks. Let's go back to the Jaguars. We're zigging and zagging here a little bit. Jaguars made a lot of shuffling on their roster, right? Out goes Calvin Ridley, but you bring in Gabe Davis to hopefully help Trevor Lawrence. When this team was 8-3, they had just come off a win to the Texans. It looked like they had control of their own destiny of the division. What do you feel happened to them, and is it is it going to transfer into this season, all of that negative momentum?
Yeah, I think the disappointing part is they kept all their offensive feelings intact here with Doug Peterson and Press Taylor. Now, Doug Peterson's obviously a good coach. He's won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, but I don't think he's the best adjusting coach in the NFL. And what I mean by that is you need to give him the personnel. If there's some shifting things that happen, such as Christian Kirk going down with an injury or Zay Jones not being available, he's not good at moving the receiver around to say Calvin Ridley has got to play a different role in this team when these two guys are gone, or saying Travis Etienne needs to be deployed more as a receiver, right, to help this team. I think a lot of success was in the middle of the field. So they really need to get more dangerous with Gabe Davis, with the rookie Brian Thomas Jr., being able to stretch the field, have some consistency on the outside as well as inside. How to diversify this offense. It gets very boring at times and predictable. And Trevor Lawrence, on top of everything else, played hurt last season. So if he's healthy and you have some of these guys fall into place, I think there'll be some good things for this offense. But really, I think this offense could disappoint again because of this combination that are the coaches. And there might be more in the defense with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker for maybe them to have a bigger burden on this team.
So don't have too much time for the Titans. Will Levis going to be under center there with Brian Callahan, their new head coach. Is this a last-place team again in the South?
There's a lot they're adjusting to. I mean, Will Levis hardly was settled in last year. It's a brand new offense, brand new defense. All these things are going on here. And again, it's a pretty young team overall. So I think there are a lot of pieces that need to fall into place. I mean, I think there's a lot of variables that we're not comfortable with, but I would definitely look right now. I mean, Texans, Colts would be my pecking order of this division, and we'll see how it plays out. Titans will be improved, but Jaguars, I think, are going to fade here in relation to those two other teams.
Great stuff by Vinnie Iyer. You find him on X.com at Vinnie Iyer. That's Iyer, and on the Sporting News talking about football. 3 different divisional champs in the last 3 seasons. If the Colts come back to first place, that would make it 4 champs 4 years in a row. A lot to watch in that division. We'll be right back, guys.